Okay, so what we had when we moved into this house was a rather poorly made concrete base, a very, very rickety wooden upper section out here, kind of a gazebo, and that was just too dangerous and took up too much space. So what we've done, we've pulled that all down, as you can see in a second what we've done outside, and I'm now going to show you what we're going to do with all the leftover wood. And what we're planning on doing is making a workbench and saving the world one workbench at a time. Now, as you can see in the garage, we have a whole load of wood, and we're going to try and use that to make a workbench that we can do other projects on. Got a whole load of these shafts here that are about 5.5 by 1.5 inches. And we also have these big uprights that are about 3.5 inches square. And a load of these smaller ones. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the smaller ones, that's probably for a future project. Now before I get started, I just want to show you some of the tools I'm going to be using. Most important of which, a plan of what I'm going to be doing, which I've drawn out ahead of time and measured up. We've also got some power tools. Set down back of them. Corded power drill. I love the corded ones, they seem to take a bit more grunt. An extension reel because the cable is too short, and also a Black & Decker jigsaw and a Dremel in case we get into any bother. Then also got some standard hand tools, tape measure and pen, obviously, set square, and a set of standard wood chisels and a small saw. So we should be all set. Right, so we're going to start off by building the legs. Building the legs all the way out of this stuff here, just a 3.5 by 3.5 inch of wood that we used from the original upright. It's good sturdy stuff, so we're going to get that cut into 6 lengths for the legs, and then start doing some work on gouging out the sections where the uprights are going to join with the horizontal sections. Now what we have at this point is 6 lengths of wood that can be best described as being somewhat rusted, somewhat aged. This is ideal for a workbench because you're not going to be afraid of nick it with a saw. But yeah, so those are done. Now we're going to do the horizontal parts before we start on the shaping here and here at the inset. Now what I'm doing here is I'm supporting the wood off the ground so I can make sure I cut the cuts without any issues of hitting the concrete below, which is ironic considering I'm building a workbench. Now I've marked this up where I want it, I've got it supported in as close as possible so it's a support, it's not just going to snap off as I get towards the end. Now I'm using this jigsaw, it is really cutting through this very, very well. So, obviously be careful, you should be wearing goggles. I'm wearing gloves and obviously the slope. Now what I'm doing here is I'm laying out the wood as I cut it, so I make sure I keep track of everything that I need, which pieces I need to cut. I'm going to get everything cut before I look about shaping the legs and starting to put things together. So I keep everything organised and on top of everything. And I'm really enjoying it, there's the smell of freshly cut wood in the air, the exhilaration of using power tools. I'm having a great time with it, even though it's absolutely baking in here, there's no air conditioning in the garage. But it's coming along and I'm going to get back to it. Now what we're doing at this point is mark off the sections of the wood that we want to cut off with these cross hatches here, and I'm just gradually chiselling away the area. So I can't get in there with the jigsaw because it's too thick, and I can't get in there with a handsaw because it's too fiddly and I can't get in at the right angles. I'm just going to gradually chisel this away and then sand it and knit up at the end. Okay, this is this rough section now done. I've still got to tidy this up and do the one down here, but it's coming along. Okay, so this is the first leg in position. This is all in there pretty sturdy. There's no screws or nails or anything holding it, it's just done by the joint. So that's all in there, that's all looking good. I'm going to continue working on the other 5 legs, get those all in there, get the top on, and it's coming along. Now when you're doing this kind of work, there's a right tool for each job. Unfortunately, I have not got the right tool for a lot of these jobs, so I'm going to make it with what I've got. So when I'm chiseling this stuff out, I'm not using a lathe or something. The edges are coming out pretty rough. I'm using the Dremel here just to tighten these up a bit. Okay. You're just taking off the rough edges. You want this to be slightly too small to fit onto the bench because you want the joint to be as tight as possible. So make it roughly so it's a little bit too small. And then once you get it in there, just chisel down or sand down the edges there, and then it should fit nice and tight. I've also got a screw in the bottom here to hold it steady, so this should be very sturdy. Okay, so there's two legs in place. We're going to work on the centre one before we move on to the front. Right, now that the back section is finished, I'm going to start working on the side parts. And once again, I'm hoping this to be as tight as possible, and then I'm going to screw it in for extra strength. Okay, so I've got the sides on now, I've got the legs carved, so I'm basically going to start constructing this thing. So here it is, the final result with the top all in place. Now, is this thing made perfectly? Is it all straight? Well, no, obviously it's not. I mean, that leg's not straight. But is it sturdy? Reasonably. Is it level? No chance in hell. Do I feel safe working with this thing? Yeah, definitely. It's a perfect height for my height. So if I'm working on this, I'm not going to put any strain on my back, which is great. I also know, although it's not particularly sturdy, it might walk a little bit, but it's definitely strong. And it didn't cost any money. It was a great learning experience. And maybe the next project I do, I can use this workbench for it, and maybe I'll do a slightly better job. And that's all you can ask for, really. So, as it turns out, my handiwork, although it has wonky legs, wasn't actually as unstable as I thought. It's pretty sturdy, and as you can see from the spirit level here, it is actually level. So that's not bad going for a first attempt.